requested by Cantor's campaign that you represent him here this evening?
I knew from different folks I know in your Tea Party that the Cantor campaign was not going to have a representative here, and I volunteered.
So not directly asked by the campaign?
Correct. They did not ask me. I volunteered.
You're not authorized to state anything on his behalf?
You're exactly right.
Now, you know that because it's a political campaign, all rhetoric on behalf of the campaign must be authorized and presented by the campaign.
Well, this is going to be unauthorized rhetoric.
Ma'am, could we go ahead and get on with the meeting?
Just a question for clarification.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you. The first question for all the candidates, and we'll start over here with Mr. Bayne. Are you for or against Agenda 21? Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake, yeah. Thank you very much, yeah. We do have 3 minutes opening statements. Start with Mr. Bayne.
Good evening. Please allow me to apologize again for being late. Learn not to use MapQuest anymore. My name is Floyd Bayne. I'm born and raised in Richmond, lived there all my life, currently living in Chesterfield County. I decided that it was time to run for office when my Republican representative voted for TARP both times, along with a long list of other bills that grew the federal government and grew our deficit. And I realized that the two major parties were really not going to offer us any real choices. It was two sides of the same coin. So after much frustration, I decided to go to one of the Tea Party rallies in Richmond, the first one they ever had, and realized I wasn't the only one who felt that way, which was very reassuring. And that's when I made the determination, after speaking with several people there, that somebody needed to challenge the status quo. That's why I'm running as an independent conservative and not running in one of the two major parties. I believe they have proven themselves incapable of or unwilling to do the right thing by the Constitution and by us, the citizens. And it's time that we voted for someone who does believe in the Constitution and limited government, not in party loyalty first. And that's why I'm here.
Good evening. My name is Todd Vanderpaul. I've been in Hanover County for 21 years. I own and operate a small business. So some of you may have actually seen me in the field working on your water well pumps or water filtration. I've been a citizenship activist for 21 years. I go to the local Republican meetings. I currently serve as corresponding secretary for the local Republican committee, which any of you would be free to join. And I want to thank both Floyd and Brian for coming out tonight. I want to thank you folks for coming out. Typically, you'll see about a 1% participation in political involvement at any, in any geographical area. There's 100,000 people in Hanover County tonight, and you folks are here. That's a great testimony to the interests that we have currently. Tonight, as a former financial planner, I still invest my IRA funds, and I want you to look at this a little bit as a long-term investment. When I get something in the mail that says, here's a new investment, and this investment's going to do this for you, and this for you, and I can do this for you, you have all those things to consider. They're promotional. But when you look down deep, you find that that investment opportunity, that there's very little management experience, that they have no assets, that all they're giving you is a promise. So one of the things I want to look at is the past and see once if we can build some credibility. Eric Cantor's past. His grandparents immigrated from Russia into Richmond, Virginia. They set up a little mom and pop grocery store. They lived above the grocery store. Soon after they came, Eric Cantor's grandfather passed away, but his grandmother did what I call generational investment. She worked every day and stayed up above. Her two boys saw that generational investment. She lived on less than she made. She prepared them. She gave them an education. So Eric Cantor's father did the same thing with him. He was taught to value the American experience, to value hard work, living on less than you make. In 1981, Eric Cantor graduated from collegiate high school. That's where you send your kids if you value education. In '85, he got a baccalaureate from George Washington University, 88, a law degree from William and Mary, and then a Master of Science degree from Columbia in 89. So he's a sharp gentleman. The thing, though, that I noticed is in 81, as a high school senior, he was interning for Tom Blythe. And in 82, he was driving the car during Blythe's campaign. So I want to look at their background to build confidence in what they're going to do in the future.
My name is Brian Umana. I am the campaign manager for Rick Law, who is he is the Democratic nominee running in the 7th District. He has lived in Louisa, Virginia for the last 9 years. He's 36 years old and has lived in Virginia since he was 9 years old. His father served in the Navy, was career Navy, and Rick himself is a career social worker. He comes from a military family generally. His stepson returned from serving in Iraq last year. And he has 2 stepdaughters he's raising with his wife in Louisa also. I'd like to take a moment to thank Floyd Bayne for appearing here in person and to thank Todd for appearing as well. And I'd like to thank Robert for organizing this and inviting me here, and to thank all of you above all, because political involvement, no matter your political persuasions, no matter what you're doing, peaceful civic political involvement is what makes our country run the way that it should. And right now, I think most of us in this room, perhaps with the exception of anyone who supports Eric Cantor, most of us in this room believe that government is not running the way that it should. And so I believe we agree on that. I'm going to express some policy positions that I expect many of you will disagree with tonight, and I respect those differences. Now, I want to, so in the spirit of dialogue, I believe that, campaigns in the modern era often target voters. You go to speak to swing voters, people who are identified as moderates, and you go to speak to people in your base and try to get them out. I know that I'm not speaking to the Democratic base tonight, and I know that it's possible that not even one person in this room would be willing to pull a lever for a Democrat. I would remind you that Rick is an independent-minded Democrat, but more importantly, I don't mind if none of you vote for Rick, because I think that it's important that we're here together talking, and I thought it was worth the investment of a couple hours of my time to actually take away from, trying to gin up the Democratic base and come out here and talk to you, a group of committed citizens. Rick is not here because he's been committed for a long time to appear at a fundraiser in Culpeper tonight. He's there right now. I appreciate that Floyd is not raising much money. It is important to, not only to have a staff, but to have running offices, to have literature when you go door to door, to have all types. Campaigns are very expensive, and Eric Cantor has raised $4 million tonight, or this year, not tonight, but he's raised $4 million, and I think it would have been a show of respect to the Tea Party to actually send someone from his staff or himself to appear here and talk to you and defend his positions, because he's been in Congress for 10 of the worst years in American history that any of us can remember.
Now we start the question and answer. Thank you, Mr. Bayne. The first question. Are you for or against Agenda 21 and why?
I'm against it. I'm against any program or government overtaking of property. Many of us haven't even heard of Agenda 21, and in fact, I've just recently come to learn about it, and I'm learning more about it every day. I'm fortunate to have some very close friends and campaign supporters who are big on the Agenda 21 issue. It's all about the government dictating to private property owners what they can and cannot do with their property under the auspices of sustained development. And all that means is